Hi everyone, let's build Warmoth Tele. In this segment, Tele earns its strings. We'll be using Diodario nickel wound 10 gauge strings. Now even though it says nickel wound, it's not pure nickel, it's nickel plated steel. That way with most strings, unless they say pure nickel. Quick close up of the color chart in case you threw yours out. Now we'll take our 3 bundles of strings and get them uncoiled. I'm going to go ahead and show you a quick trick to get these uncoiled easy every time. Do 1, 2 turns with a ball end, 1 turn with a pokey end, and it's uncoiled. Watch your eyes as you do this. There's no poking your eyes out allowed. Uncoiling the Diodario strings will go the same way every time, so remember that, and you'll be able to do this even in the dark. I don't always put all of the strings in first, but for your benefit, we'll go ahead and run them through. Even if you don't have the color chart for Diodarios, you always know that the silver and gold or bronze colors are going to be the outer E and E, and then the green is going to be the G. That is if you have a store-bought set and you're not building them yourself from singles. But in general, it's going to be pretty easy to tell the other 3 strings apart. Now let's take a look at the headstock where we'll be cramming these strings next. I've got my favorite type of tuner as far as a non-locking tuner, the safe T post. These are go toes, so it's probably not called safe T post. We're going to count 2 tuners past the tuner that we're installing. So for example, low E, we're going to go on up to the D string, kink the string to lock the winding in place, and then cut it. And we'll go ahead and poke that down in our little hole. We're going to keep pressure on the string up against the tuning post. As we tune up, we're going to wind the string down the peg towards the face of the guitar. That's the most important part. And there we go. Let's go ahead and move on to the A string. Again, we're going to count 2 tuners past. Bend the string to lock the winding in place and cut to length. And we're going to poke that pointy end down in the safe T post. Now when we do this, we want to pull the string up at the bridge, make sure we haven't fallen out the back of the guitar. And then we make a right angle bend and hold the string up against the post as we tune up. And again, we're running the string down the post towards the face of the guitar. You can see we're really kind of taking up the slack in the strings, so we have tension against the bridge so the ball end doesn't slip out, and we're pulling the string almost as if we're pulling it towards the bridge, trying to yank it out of the tuner to keep the tension on there, simulating string tension as we're tuning up, so it goes exactly where we want the string to lay. I don't show it very well in this video, but with any new set of strings you install, you're going to want to stretch them significantly to rule out any tuning problems as you're playing. You don't want to keep playing and halfway through the song have to retune. So you tune it up to pitch, give it a good stretch. I yank it all the way down the frets and back up to the bridge, and then retune. Do that a couple of times until it stops going out of tune when I do that, and then I'm good to go. Alright, with the unwound strings, you don't need to do the initial bend to lock any windings in place, but you do need to be more careful so you don't get any weird kinks in the string. I don't want to kink any of your strings, but the unwound ones are especially prone to breakage if they get any sort of a weird bend in them. Same principle here. Keep the string pressure against the string post with your fingers and help the string wind down the post towards the face of the headstock. Careful with these unwound strings, they'll tend to pinch your fingertips. You get used to it. Uh-oh, you're going to have to imagine a tuner here. Luckily, the top of the headstock works pretty well as a placeholder. Now, if the string does pop out of the tuner while you're putting it in, make sure to put it back carefully. You want to keep it on the very same kink that you had it in before. You don't want to make any new bends in the string if you can help it. And sometimes for those higher unwound strings, I'll put a towel over them or block them with my hand just in case they break at the last second. Now for the top string, you're going to have to use your imagination entirely. If you have poor spatial recognition, go ahead and measure with your own fingers to see how many fingers of yours equals 2 tuner spacings. We are in the home stretch now. Go slow and careful with that high string. It's always going to be the hardest one. We're not quite done yet, but just like that, it's a real guitar. Up next, we'll be installing the string tree and making that switch tip stay on. For now, playing. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day.